What's up and welcome back to the channel. The name is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell up above for future uploads and check out the links posted down below in the description. Thank you. So here I have an article from CBR.com and they said a Predator 5's story will follow a female Native American warrior. The potential synopsis for Predator 5 revealed the upcoming movie will follow a Native American woman who sets out to become a Comanche warrior. Oh, stop. So Disney have essentially bought the Predator franchise to turn it into the other franchises that they've done over the last couple of years, the likes of Star Wars and Marvel, to essentially do a bait and switch. We're bringing in a male audience, but we're going to change everything that you know and love about these franchises to suit our will of having this absolute nonsense be shoved down your throat. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes wrong. A potential synopsis emerged for Predator 5, revealing the movie will revolve around a young Native American woman. Now, on the basis of that, you're saying to yourself, right, okay, that's fairly interesting. That could be very good to highlight people that are Native American. And it's interesting, and it does have precedence before that. We had a female lead within Alien vs. Predator. Now, she was written very well, but also it was very clear within that movie that there was a technological and very much so a spiritual bond between her and the Predator, because the Predator has his skin saved in a way from that character, and then he owed her sort of a life debt in a way, which is why throughout the rest of the movie then he tolerated that character rather than just doing what he needed to be done. So according to AVP Galaxy, the film will follow Key, a member of the Comanche tribe who goes against gender norms and traditions to become a warrior. So Mulan, but a Native American with a Predator. That's essentially what we're going to get here. And if you're looking at something that has been sort of historical in a way that you're looking back in the past, it throws up a lot of problems. I mean, look at the way that Arnold Schwarzenegger's Dutch had a very big problem with dealing with the Predator. Danny Glover, two very big men, Boyd Holbrook as well, another individual that had issues with fighting a Predator. But you're going to say a Native American woman that has very limited technology is going to be able to stand up to a Predator. It's nonsensical stuff, really. But then again, it's science fiction, so I suppose that they're going to go all the way going woke with the Predator. I'm very surprised by this. Well, not too much surprised, particularly when you know Disney are behind this, but it's very surprising that they're actually going to go ahead with this, with the way that this was ridiculed not too long ago. Produced by David Entertainment, Predator 5 is slated to begin shooting in Calgary, Canada this May, with Dan Trachtenberg, 10 Cloverfield Lane, directing from a script by Patrick Eisen Kingdom, Jack Ryan, Treadstone. Haven't watched any of that. I've seen 10 Cloverfield Lane. It wasn't too bad, but wasn't great now either. Trachtenberg has been working on Predator 5 for 4 years, admitting this was meant to be a surprise. Not a good one. I can't see the amount of people that are going to be happy with this one when you're talking absolute nonsense. 4 years it took you to come up with this idea, and this was the best that you had. You joking me? When news broke of the project in November 2020, the film is not expected to connect to 2018's The Predator, which was directed by Shane Black and disappointed at the box office despite becoming the highest grossing Predator film to date. So that's a way of them saying, yeah, it was successful, but not really successful. So Predator 5 will also be the first installment produced under Disney. So this is an important part to note, because again, they've bought properties and profiles of characters and these sort of ideas that are male orientated, and now they're going to try and switch it now up, and then that's going to be the way they're going to go moving forward. Now, I know a lot of people out there will say, well, how come, you're not saying anything about Ripley and Aliens? Absolutely great character, fantastic character, but also then was able to use technology and wherewithal with that character to navigate those situations, and particularly because it was a futuristic one, then you could say, well, there was an ability for her to be able to fight off the likes of the aliens, and then she got better as things moved on. But then when you're looking at this then, and you're trying to draw the logic then between how does an individual with a very limited skill set with very limited technologies in front of her being physically inferior down to a Predator, unless they nerf the Predator in this one, absolutely, how is she going to make any sort of stand against this Predator? Now, it could be interesting. They could turn it the route of AVP and have the Predator kind of bring this person under their wing, which I think personally would probably be the best way for them to go, rather than her having to be facing off against the Predator, because then I think instantly that's going to be ridiculed and laughed at, and rightly so. Which acquired the rights to the Predator franchise when it bought 20th Century Fox's movie and TV assets in March 2019. Predator movies kicked off in 1987 with Schwarzenegger, as we know, and then plenty of other ones. Here's the unofficial synopsis. The story will follow Kay, a Comanche woman who goes against gender norms and traditions to become a warrior. They're mad for this stuff. They are. They really are. And it keeps failing again and again and again. It failed with Star Wars. It's failing with Star Trek. It's failing with Ghostbusters. It's going to fail with Transformers. It's going to fail with various other properties. Power Rangers is going to come to Power Rangers very soon. It's going to fail there also. And these people just don't seem to get it. If you write a good character with a good motivation and it makes sense, people are all for it. Look at Terminator. Look at Sarah Connor, for example. A fantastic character. A character that within the first movie was absolutely backs to the wall. Needed to have that futuristic individual to come back and protect her, and Kyle Reese. And then as the movies got on and the arc got better, she was able then to become this warrior. And that's what you need to see over a progression of time. You cannot instantly within this movie then say that this character is able to beat a predator and this is the way they're going to go. Many years ago, in a time before any Europeans had ever encroached on their lands, the Comanche people had a well-defined society and gender norms. Key is very close to her younger brother, Tab, who was being groomed as a leader. As capable as any young man in the tribe. Oh my God, if you can see what way it's going to go for that guy, he's going to be absolutely undermined throughout this movie. This is going to be just so in your face. This isn't even going to be funny. As capable as any young man in the tribe, Key has always been a teacher and a source of inspiration for Tabby. See, straight away. In the Comanche way, she is Patsy, the elder sister that has helped to shape him. Key is a truth teller and has insight that others do not. A tomboy, she wants to prove herself in the masculine world of the Comanche. When danger threatens them all, Key sets out to prove that she is as capable as any young warrior. Oh my God. This is going to be a train wreck, people. This is going to be worse than the last Predator movie. If you thought that the last Predator movie was bad and certainly thought it got bad reviews, wait until this one comes out. Now, they have spent 4 years thinking of this, by the way. That's not even the main feat. Like, they literally do state that this has been a project for 4 years and this was the best thing that they could come up with. That's absolutely outrageous. And the fact that they're thinking that one individual with very limited tech is going to be able to stand up against a predator that up until now we have seen very big versions of the predator. Unless they absolutely nerf this predator or they turn it into a female predator or something like that, maybe, is anyone going to take this credibly whatsoever? Because this is going to be a laugh fest. This is going to be basically Batwoman versus the Predator. So I think they've bitten off more they can chew with this one. They've certainly gone down the route of what Disney are doing over the last couple of years, which is infecting male franchises and turning them into something that they're not supposed to be. They're trying to appeal to a demographic that are not there. So they've made a very big mistake with this one. I like the idea of the Native American sort of story behind it. It would have been, I think personally, it would have been a lot better if they had maybe 3 Native American males and it was their hunting ritual maybe to go out far away from the tribe, and that they were supposed to engage in collecting certain animals, for example like a bear or something like that, to prove their worth to the tribe, and have them encounter the predator. 3 individuals versus the one predator, and then you get to show them how unique the predator is, and then that's able to pick off certain individuals and have it basically be a brotherly type of bond story. I think that would have been a lot better. I know people are already sitting there saying you're actually out to writing a better story within 10 seconds of thinking something up completely different to what these idiots did. But again, these people that are making these movies at this moment are not fans. People that are writing these movies at this moment are not fans. They have no idea what fans want. They have no idea what gets the fan going. And again, like I said, if you were going to include a female character within this story, okay, you might have the 3 brothers or you might have the 3 males that are going out with the tribe. Bring the female character with you and then show her then through the progression of the story then how she is able to work with the male characters and able to help them out. Because when you show that this predator has a very physical advantage, and when we've seen that in multiple different movies, the way the predator will absolutely ragdoll female characters, when you're going to show this now, I'm very excited to see, and only to laugh at it really, because I'm not excited for this movie whatsoever, but I'm excited to see how they're going to put this on film and how they're going to try to justify what they're going to do with this one. I'm serious when I say this. They're going to have to nerf this predator so bad that people are just going to absolutely ridicule it. Or if they try to make it serious and that the predator is a real tough guy and that it falls down to an individual like this, bad news ahead. But we're seeing this with all of the different brands that Disney have under their control. They're absolutely imploding with Star Wars. They're after imploding the Marvel Studios, MCU. People haven't noticed it yet, but it's on the way out at this moment. And they're going to do this now to various other properties. So for me, I think after the last couple of weeks, particularly what happened with Gina, It's not going to be a purchase of Disney Plus. It's certainly going to be no purchase or very limited purchase in any way of Disney product. And this is just continuing on the trend. And for example, they're trying to do the exact same thing with Pirates of the Caribbean. So they've bought all of these properties that they're saying that are very male dominated and that have this audience, and then they're totally switching who's leading it. And I mean, that's just going to end in disaster. That's like taking, I suppose, like Barbie, and then deciding, well, we're actually going to make Ken the lead here. We're going to make a whole movie about Ken. Doesn't make sense. And there's various other different female-led properties and female-led sort of shows that Disney have at their disposal that they're deciding not to use. I mean, if they decided to use the Aliens brand and decided to do something like this with having a female lead set in the future, 100%, that's absolutely no problem. Do that. It has precedence beforehand. Or even if you're going to use a female lead in this like they did in AVP, there's going to have to be some workaround. There's going to have to be some gimmick that this individual is able to stand with the Predator rather than against the Predator, because as very clearly shown within AVP, if the Predator wanted to ragdoll that individual, it was no issue whatsoever, and only because it suited him to work with her did he spare her. Now again, they have an honor system and a code system. The Predator do, as we know from the past. So Predators will generally not attack females from the movie canon that we've seen thus far. So how are they going to change that up in this movie verse that hasn't really shown that whatsoever? Now I know people will harken back to the comics and say, well, the comics had this version and that version, and that's fine, and the comics still say is canon, and that's absolutely fine. But when you're looking at this as a movie, and you're certainly looking at the movies in the past, how are you then going to say this is cool and this is going to be something then that's going to be just changed? Why has the ethics and the code of the Predator changed then from this time to that time? And certainly in the movies it then becomes more jumbled. I think people are going to have way more problems with this movie than they did with the recent Predator movie. And as I said, it didn't seem like a lot of people loved it. I thought the movie was okay. It was not too bad. I didn't think it was the greatest movie of all time now personally, but I think that was okay. I like Boyd Holbrook, I will say that. I do like him as an actor. I liked the design of the Predators within that movie. I will say that also. I liked the individuals that were involved, the kind of little gang that they had. I thought that was good. But again, they're going to have to really stretch this one out. And looking at the synopsis, it looks like they're going to go woke. They're going to go broke. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell up above for future uploads. Check out the links posted in the description down below. And I'll talk to you later. Good luck.